Julius Erving, the next subject, the award-winning NBA TV original franchise. It's called The Doctor, 90-minute documentary airing between games 2 and 3 of the finals tonight at 9 Eastern. And Julius Erving joining us now. Doc, how are you?
Dan, I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right.
When's the last time you played hoops?
Let's see. Wow. It is 2013.
Yeah.
I don't have an exact date. You know what? I got it. Let's see. Friday night past, I was at Walt Frazier's restaurant in New York, and he's got a little court down in the corner. He's got a fabulous restaurant over at 10th and 27th, 10th and 37th.
Yeah.
And he's got a court there. So my 11-year-old, after we eat dinner, I got to show you the court. So we run down to the court, and there are a few people in there shooting free throws. And it's a little box. It looks like a closet, actually, with a hoop in it. And it's, nice wooden walls and wooden floor. And it's about a free throw, So that's as close as I got in the last month.
Last time you dunked?
Well, yeah, this year I've dunked the ball a couple times. Because I go over to a place called Lifetime Fitness with my sons, and they love to play, and I love to take my iPad and, watch them out the corner of my eye. But every now and then, a few of my buddies and I will go out there and play the eighth graders. So we had one specific date in which, I had three of my friends and my little son, and we played against my son and his eighth grade buddies, and we ran them off the court. Like, we actually walked them off the court. We didn't run them off. We kind of pounded them into submission.
Well, that's not bad at age 63. You can take eighth graders now, Doc. That's good.
I can take eighth graders, and man, there's some big eighth graders out there. Some of them are 6'1" to 6'5", so they just don't have the weight or the knowledge.
I don't know if it's cathartic or not, but whenever I see guys and they talk about doing a documentary or doing a book, that they always have misgivings, like they're not sure. Once you get into it, you're going, man, I'm revealing a lot. Or I don't know if this is painful or not, or this is something that's fun. Yeah. You got through the process.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Well, with the book, unfortunately, I don't have to do it again. With a documentary, I could see doing film work and creating things with different spins, categorically speaking, having something aimed at, the 12 to 18-year-olds, or having something aimed at, more mature generation, 30 or better. So I could see doing stuff like that that's more targeted. This is all and everything. This is biographical. So it is a painstaking drill to recall and recount, particularly the tragic parts of my story, and the controversial pieces to the story. So yeah, that's skullduggery, but I could see doing something that's going to make a contribution to a community or to the society, and I've tried to do that all my life. Just doing things that were philanthropic and contributed.
He's Dr. J, the documentary. It's called The Doctor, and it's you can see it tonight at 9 Eastern, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Best playground player you ever faced?
Best in the playground. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. The legendary Joe Hammond, I played against him once. And I played in the Rucker for 5 years, and he showed up once, and he played well. But I would think that if I were going to pick the best guy who I played against a bunch of times, it probably was Tiny Archibald. Every time Tiny showed up, players literally would, stop what they were doing just to watch him with his exploits, because he can get to the basket on anybody. I don't care if you're, 6'6" shot blocker, 7 foot, or a little guy like him. He would find a way to get to the basket, and he'd find a way. He scored points in bunches. He handled the ball and play make. And if I had to pick a guy, I would just pick him.
I got to see him in Cincinnati with the Royals when he led the league in scoring and assist, which is I mean, no one will ever do that again. I guess if LeBron, maybe, but you got special, there's specialists now who are going to have a lot of assists, and even guys who are going to a lot of scoring. But he went left every time, and Tiny, right? He led the league in scoring and assists
he was
one year.
going left, but you couldn't do anything about it.
And keep in mind,
a real helpless feeling.
And it was a last place team, so he led the league in scoring and assists for a last place team. Other than that, you know what? Pretty impressive. I also thought. I thought about why don't we combine ABA, NBA stats? We took some of the ABA teams into the NBA, and why? What was the reason that they gave you that they didn't, combine your stats?
Too much work.
No, it's not.
I agree with you. I mean, I've been, blowing the horn for a lot of years. I mean, pretty much 20 plus years. Right now, I thought it would be the last official act of the commissioner, and it might be. Who knows?
Oh, really?
I'm gonna stop turning blue in the face, blowing the horn, and I'm glad you see the merit of it, because really for generations to come, when they don't see those stats, they really dilute the status of a dozen or more players who have been significant contributors to the game of basketball, who get recognized by the Hall of Fame, and who get recognized by the fans who were a part of this story. And I'm talking about Artis Gilmore and George Gervin and David Thompson and Dan Issel and George McGinnis and Matt Calvin and Roger Brown. The list goes on.
There's so many of them.
Daniels, guys, Brian Taylor. I mean, guys if Moses Malone, Rick Barry. I mean, guys who, if suddenly you throw their ABA stats into the picture, then the roadmap to success and the roadmap to iconic status looks a little different. And now you have more people competing for the top slots and for recognition as the best players of all time.
The evolution of the individual star in the NBA, because it used to be about the teams. We talked about the Celtic teams with Red and Bill Russell. You talked about the Lakers with Jerry. You had the Knicks, a great team. But then when did it change where we started to go individual with the NBA?
Well, I think it's always been star-driven. Clearly, Cousy was the original star with the Celtics, and Russell was the ultimate champion and warrior, and he always promoted team, but he was the star of the team, and he even said, I don't want to go in the Hall of Fame before all these guys who I think are worthy, who played before me and guys who played with me. So it's been star-driven for a long time. I think the team concept was probably more pronounced when you had only the coach doing the interview at the end of the game. You didn't have the players, going out and meeting the press en masse. You had the coach. The coach had it was the coach's platform, and the coach pretty much controlled the team and pretty much had to say so, call the plays. And now it's a little different. Now I think you have players who are running the show, and you have great coaches, as you have with the two coaches in the finals, and a half dozen to a dozen other guys around the league who are perceived to be great coaches and who do a fine job. But sometimes they just have to let the reins go and let the players, do what they want to do. And a lot of times what the players are doing is right, and sometimes it's not so right. But players get coaches fired these days.
Before I let you go, can I tell the story again when we were in Utah?
Yeah, that's okay.
We were playing golf, Jim Gray, Dr. J, and we were in the back nine. I think it was 15th hole of this golf course, beautiful golf course, and there was a basketball hoop. And so we went into somebody's backyard. There was a ball there. The hoop was lowered, and I said, Doc, would you stand underneath the hoop and let me dunk on you? How sad.
We jumped the fence to get over there.
I know, but how sad is it that I'm saying, could you lower the hoop a little bit, let me dunk on you, and you let me dunk on you?
Got those golf spikes in my chest.
Well, I treated you like you were Mark Jackson. I was Tom Chambers. I was I was trying to throw down
I
on
remember
you.
that shot. That was some photo.
Hey, good luck with the documentary and appropriately named documentary. But good to talk to you again, and hope you enjoy it coming up tonight.
All right, I'll see you on the links.
All right, buddy. Thank you. That's Dr. J. 90-minute documentary tonight at 9. There was a backup on the tee, and I saw this basketball hoop, and I said, "Let's go shoot hoops, man." So I said to Doc, and the hoop was, I think you could lower it, but I think I put it down to like 8 feet. And I said, "Doc, just stand there," and I had Jim Gray take a picture, and I did it I think I did it 3 times, and so I was like, "Oh yeah, stand there. It'll look like I'm dunking on you, Doc." And here he is, this legendary man, standing there, and I'm dunking on him. Pathetic. I am. That's 9 Eastern coming up tonight.